You can spend anything the man brings, but whatever the woman brings is up to the woman to decide.
Thanks to our dearest country, the bills are ridiculously overwhelming.
Let me ask, is my money your money?
Oh my god! Of course,
Is
whose
your
money is
money
going to
my
be?
money? I'm always like, this is how much is in the account, so this is what is possible. My wife is more of, this is what we want, so this is what should actually be possible.
How do you marry someone you don't trust?
Is there another salary that you think I'm hiding somewhere?
The beginning of see finish is when you allow your wife know how much money you make. Wow.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a
Hey guys, welcome to another video. So today we'll be talking about 5 reasons why money feels overwhelming in your relationship. And we're going to be starting with one very controversial phrase: my money is not your money.
Yeah.
So that's our number one reason we're going to be highlighting today. Number one reason being my money is not your money. This is the most controversial thing that we see online where one gender, I don't know the gender, one gender says my money is not our money, but your money is our money. So today let's talk about it. Like, what do you think about that?
Wait,
How does that?
before let me ask, is my money your money?
Oh my god! Of course,
Is
whose
your
money is
money
going to
my
be?
money?
Well, well.
So people, this is what we're talking about. This is what
Oh
we're
my
talking about.
god. Okay,
Yeah.
jokes aside, yeah, personally, I know this is going to sound like me being a pick me, but I mean, I don't care about any of that. I believe that when it comes to marriage, like whatever money you make inside of marriage is for the people inside the marriage. Like, you're not one person anymore. You have become one person with your partner, like two have become one. So there is no such thing as my money and like your money. Whatever money anybody makes is our money. Like, it's for the family.
Yeah. I think it's quite interesting the way social media has, posed, or should I say put the husband and the wife against each other
Yeah.
as it comes to like just managing money. And it was like, oh, you can spend anything the man brings, but whatever the woman brings is up to the woman to decide, how she wants to spend it. And you have cases where, like, it's time to pay school fees, it's time to bring, money for rent, and it just feels like it's only
Like, it's a man's
the man's
responsibility to
responsibility
figure that
to
out.
figure that out. Whereas, like, what you can do or plan when two heads are planning the entire finances, you guys, your picture is broader. But if somebody is like, managing one portion and is only thinking on that level, so let's say I only have 100K and I'm only thinking about the 100K. My wife has 100K, but I don't know about the 100K. And she's managing that 100K. She's thinking at the level of 100K. But when we come together and say, like, we have 100, we now have 200K, we start thinking at the level of 200K. Oh, what can we actually do with this amount of money together? Yeah. And it changes the landscape. It changes how we build wealth. It changes the things that we can, invest in, save in, buy in the house and everything. So that's why I mean, like, oh, like, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't combine, or if my money is my money and nobody is aware of the actual money of the household, because you're going to be thinking at the level to which, you know, the money you have, that is your money, you're going to be thinking at that level, and that's not what you want,
Yeah, I
in
actually
the.
agree that that's limiting, especially if you're trying to build wealth. It's honestly limiting, and I think in the context of marriage, it's selfish to say my money is my money and your money is our money, or whatever that is. Like, there are even couples who actually say my money is my money, your money is your money. Like, we don't even talk about money at all, but it just doesn't make sense. I feel like it's selfish and there's no building there. Bringing finances together is actually very important. It's deeper than we actually think. So, as much as you can, I feel like if it's something that you're not used to, you try to like merge together little by little. You start from the little things. Like, if it is one person who is like buying clothes for the kids and this other person is buying groceries, like, it doesn't have to be separate. Like, you can put all the money together and budget little by little and say, oh, so amount goes into clothing, so amount goes into what is it called, groceries and whatever, power, like every household um necessity. So these things make you guys like it aligns your perspectives about like wealth building, about how you handle finances, and it actually gives little room for fights,
Yeah.
unnecessary fights. Because if you guys are actually planning together, that's also like something that bonds you guys and it makes you feel like you're one. But if you're doing separate things, it's honestly a totally different game. So for wealth building, what we recommend is to find a way to merge your finances together. Your money is not your money. Your money is the family's money. Whoever makes the money, whether it's one income or two incomes, whatever it is, the money is the family's money. And that is the mindset you should think from. Yeah.
Yeah, so just so that we're clear, we're not necessarily saying that you have to have one bank account and everybody's money is
Yeah. No, no, no.
or you can't have like individual savings or all of that. No, we're talking on the level of the overall picture. Yeah, let everyone know. Or should we just jump to this number two reason, which is transparency?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's
lack
talk
of
about.
transparency is one of the reasons why
Yeah.
money feels overwhelming. Yeah, and that's the number two reason, which is a close brother of the first reason. Yeah, what this looks like is not knowing each other's income. So, like we said in the first one, we're not exactly saying that, oh, you have to have a joint account or your salaries, everything must flow into one account. What we're saying is that you have to be aware of each other's income. You have to be aware of all the income the family is generating. So it doesn't mean you can't have savings or investments individually, or you can have a joint family account that is used for like groceries. Like, you can manage your finances however you see fit. You can have your pocket money. She has a pocket money, and you have guilt-free spending. Like, you can spend it anyhow you want. Like, you could have those allocations. It doesn't mean that compulsorily everybody must be sharing from one account, and every time you spend money,
Yeah, you have to,
you
or you
have
now got to
you
take permission from the
take
other
permission
person
from
before
together.
you
That's
take.
not what
No,
we're
that's not
saying.
what
That's not
we're
what we're saying.
talking about.
It's the transparency. Like, we're saying, like,
Yes. Know where
exactly
everything that you're
everything,
spending on
every
goes
income,
into.
like
Yeah.
all of that.
Like,
And
especially when it has to do with like how you run the family,
yeah,
like things like that, like electricity, groceries, just things
yeah,
like that, that
exactly. So everyone
rent.
has a picture of
Yes,
like what's
and they
happening
feel
in
they
the
are a
whole
part
family.
of how that money is
Mhm.
being like spent.
Exactly. So that's one close. And the thing about it is, what social media tries to tell you is that don't let her know how much you're earning. That, if your wife knows how much you're earning, it's still finished.
Yeah, I saw
you know
that one time. They said there was a post I saw. The person said the beginning of see finish is when you allow your wife know how much income you make, like how much money you make. I'm like, what does, I don't even get it. Like, I just
yo
couldn't.
yo
It was just
like,
crazy to me. And
there's
in the
some.
comments, there were lots. Like, I mean, 70% of the comment section, like, these were men saying, yes, like, who does that?
Yeah,
Who actually tells their wife exactly how much they
yeah.
earn? I'm like, wow.
It reminds me of those like old Nollywood movies where the wife wouldn't know anything about the husband's job. The
Like
wife
just
just
wakes
knows how
up
to
like
wear
life
suits.
is.
He wears suits in the morning and goes out.
Oh my
Does
god!
not know where he
And she'll
works.
even help him
Does not
carry his
know
bag,
nothing.
see him off
Yo,
to the car,
please don't do
send him
that.
off
This
to.
generation.
It's crazy. It's
Don't do that. There
crazy.
is no downside in, being transparent about your income. Like it balances expectations.
You know when I
It
hear stories like
balances.
that, I wonder like, how do you marry someone you don't trust?
It's
Like on
not
that
about
level,
trust. It's
I
just
feel like it's a level of trust. Like you don't trust that they can handle the information about how
yeah,
much you earn. Like how
yeah,
are you? And you say that person is your partner for life. Like this person is the mother of your kids or whatsoever, and you don't trust them with an information as little as like that. It honestly doesn't make any sense.
yeah. That
And and then sorry, there's also one story where there was a lady who went to
yeah. I
build.
was just about to say
Oh, okay.
that.
I can't remember where I heard the story from, but the lady built a house like in her village, a family house. Her husband didn't know about it. She went to do the housewarming. Like it was just a big occasion for her family. Her husband had no idea. She told her husband that her mom wasn't feeling fine, that she had to go see her. And she went for her housewarming party. And guess what happened? A family friend that actually knows the husband called him to congratulate him and say, "Why didn't you come?" And the man was like, "Come for what?" I'm like, what level of
What's the
secrecy
but what's the benefits? Like, is it that you don't want to
do you
share?
do that?
I don't. Isn't it taken out of the happiness of the occasion? Like, I don't understand. Like, so
Because
I
imagine
don't
that
even
you're
know.
there and then you see someone that
I
looks like
don't
your
even know.
husband, the way you panic.
Like,
What's that? Like, how do
why?
you
How do you look
marry
like
people that you don't
that?
trust? Because
Like,
to me, I
yo,
feel like it's just trust. Like, you don't trust them enough to give them that, like, information. It honestly doesn't make sense,
yeah, yeah,
especially in the context of marriage.
yeah,
That's terrible, terrible.
yeah. Like for real. So what we do recommend is like as much as possible. It's usually hard because from dating phases, some of those conversations may not even happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
barely
because
pops
so
up
yeah, it barely pops up
for a
because
lot
you're
of
just
people.
trying to, woo each other. And in
Yeah,
the process of wooing each other, you're not necessarily talking
yeah. I think
about
they just
going deep.
mostly, personally, you gauge what the person's salary will
Yeah,
be like, not
exactly.
necessarily that you
You actually talk
ask
about
or
or
you
ask
guys talk
for.
about it.
Yeah, so usually what then happens is that it just carries over to marriage and
Yeah,
everybody's just minding their business. So
yeah,
try to stop and actually have those conversations because that's what brings us to the number three reason, which is like not having like deep money
yeah,
conversations. That's if you don't have that, it can definitely feel overwhelming in the relationship. So uh
yeah. I feel like the not having real like money conversations is actually like very common for a lot of like couples.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like you just go out, like you just, how do I put it? For example, there are people who they don't tell their partners like how money is spent or anything, and they just go to get things. For example, they're getting a new couch, they just go buy the couch, bring it home, and the woman is like, "Oh, nice." Or the man goes out, buys a car, and like I'm saying, there are no real money conversations. So you don't know how much money is coming in, how much money is going out. And sometimes what this does is that it creates like assumptions where the other person may be feeling like, oh, this person actually has money. Like this person could afford to buy this. Whereas probably the other person went to use all their savings to buy that particular thing. For example, if it's a car,
Yeah.
the man might have used all his savings or something, or whoever the partner is, like to buy the car, and the woman is now feeling like, oh, this man actually has money, and I was talking about so thing the other day, and like he refused to buy it. So it's actually crazy because it creates this assumption that either there's a lot of money or like something like that, and it affects your marriage because from there, like resentment or like you're feeling like or unsaid expectations, like I expect this man to do this, I expect this man to do that, just
Yeah.
because you feel like you have a perspective of what like the money actually is. So where there is no real money conversation, it causes a lot of like
Yeah.
friction.
It reminds me of our story before, like we used to talk about finances, but not to the level which we do now. Yeah. So one of the rents that was difficult to pay, I remember before like the rent was close, we're like, well, rent will like sort itself as rent.
Don't cast
Because
me. Don't cast me. Be
because
careful. Be
but
careful.
yeah, like because rent
Just
is
kidding.
like the idea is that rent is so serious that you feel like rent
Yeah.
money will just appear.
You feel like however
However, it wants to
it
happen,
wants
rent.
to happen, it
I
will
remember
happen. You're
it was
not going
like
to go and sleep under the
exactly.
bridge.
So my wife had made that comment or that statement in one of our conversations, like, "What is rent? Now rent is serious. More rent will do this thing." So because we're planning to do something, I can't remember what we're planning to do. I was like, we need money for rent. We need to be saving for rent or something. Like, oh, rent is serious, that to come. Like, I say we'll not have from anywhere we have money to pay rent. I'm like, our rent is not, it's not cheap. I said, oh, no wahala. Coming to closer to the rent period, I had to come and say, babe, I'm on this rent. It did not appear from anywhere.
In
It
fact,
has not appeared.
let me cast myself. You know, there was one time, the time when we were about to move, before we made the decision to finally move here. So that time, I initially like suggested that we should move after the person at the other, the caretaker of the other place was giving us issues, and I just casually brushed it up like, let's move, like let's move next week or let's move next month. And I was serious because I'm like, we need to move from here. And remember, you were like, because for me, I'm like, but we're going to find a way to renew the rent here if we're staying here. So if we have money to renew the rent, why would we have money to leave? But
Oh my
let's
god.
so I said it so casually, like we need to leave. And it turned to like a full blown argument because he was like, wait, where do you think this money is coming out from? That I
Like,
don't know.
yeah,
And I'm like,
is there another salary that you think I'm hiding somewhere? Like,
yeah.
yo. So like it's very important to
Oh
have
my
like
god.
those like deeper conversations, like what's actually what the reality is. But one thing I'll say on my own part that I have learned in our deeper money conversations is to not be too not hold on to the reality too much. Because for me, I'm always like, this is how much is in the account, so this is what is possible. Yeah. My wife is more of, this is what we want, so this is what should actually be possible. So I think there's a balance there because we've seen, miracles happen. We've seen, you know, the accounts grow to the level of our wants as well. So I think for me, it's like also not like holding on, like this is what we have for sure, everybody being aware of that, but also not using that to change what you want. Like you can have what you want and then you can try to strive for that or make that happen. So like in the case like she mentioned, we still did end up moving, but we had to employ different other strategies,
Yeah.
because what we had was what we had, but we realized that moving became priority, so we had to make like decisions that actually helped us, facilitate all of that movement, and it worked out best for everyone. So I think there's that balance. So in the process of like having the money conversations of being realistic for the guys, I know guys, you guys are too, we are logical. Like this is what it is, this is what it is. Yeah, don't be told this is what it is. Yeah, you might be limiting the potential that you guys have together. But yeah, having those real money conversations helps you open up, helps you leave that box of logic of like, oh, this is what we can do based on what we have. And then for the lady, it also gives her the perspective of what you guys can do together, having the
Yeah.
input
And
and
also what to
all of that.
expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of times, let me speak for the ladies. We usually have like unrealistic expectations sometimes, or just weird expectations. Yeah, let me leave it at unrealistic expectations where probably you feel like, oh, there's money this period, and or you feel like something. You just notice that this man is acting like that because we always know when you people have money, like come, this one has money. And then we start expecting things. For example, probably like your husband got a raise. You actually don't know how much like raise he got, but then somehow you're feeling like, like I'm going to get to some amount of money.
50 kills.
You start feeling like, oh, this one's going to spoil me. You know what I'm saying? Just have, I feel like you should also try to initiate the conversation. Sometimes these men, they're not so comfortable about like sharing this information. So sometimes like you can initiate the conversation in a very mature like way. Yeah, that will not upset the man or make him feel uncomfortable and not want to tell you the exact figure. Like make him feel safe enough to tell you like what the actual thing is, because I know it can be very hard, especially if you're a woman that used to go and buy wigs every 3 AK market days, or buy stuff like ridiculous, just or do those impulse spendings. Like it can
Yeah.
be very hard for your husband to trust you. I mean, because it would just feel like you're going to use all that money to do.
Yeah.
So all of that, like just find a way to figure that out. Like try to initiate the conversations, stop having unrealistic expectations, and just make money conversations like easier to have.
Yeah, because I think another, like, from an example of what you mentioned of one of the advantages of having the conversations, because one time where we were expectant for a raise at work, yeah, that's at my job. We're looking forward to a raise. We're expecting a major raise, like major, and we got peanuts. Pretty much. I'll say peanuts. Yeah. And it was very demoralizing.
Yeah.
I remember coming to my wife and like letting her know we're just like we were just down. We're like,
Yeah.
is it time to leave this place? I think what helped in that situation, and that's what is why it's important to have like these deep money conversations, is that one, you're not alone in those kind of situations. So when you're expecting like a major, whether it's a contract deal or a major breakthrough or something, it doesn't work out, you can still come. You have a partner that you can speak to
Yeah.
and share that moments with, and then you guys can make a plan, ahead. And what for us, what we said is like, okay, what does this income do for us? This is what this income is for. What we need to now focus on is getting other incomes that can supplement for the other things we had planned for.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were dependent on this income for pretty much everything at that point. Yeah, I'm like, okay, this income cannot be everything. Let's just shift it. This is what this income is for. Focus on these other things, and we're able to make those decisions because we're able to talk deeper, about these finances. So that's one thing that's really important.
Yeah. So next we're going to be talking about the fourth reason why money feels overwhelming in your relationship, which is overwhelming bills. Thanks to our dearest country, our beloved country, our country's economy. Yeah, the bills are ridiculously
Bills
overwhelming,
are
and
yo,
this can quickly become a reason for you and your partner to be nodding heads.
and it's always increasing.
It
Always
just keeps
like
going
yo,
up. See, like almost every week, let me say every month, almost every month, whatever price things were like the previous month, it just keeps going up
and it
every
never comes
single
down. It
month.
just keeps going up.
You go this
Like
time to the grocery store to buy something, you go the next time, like except you, if you don't look at like these prices, if you're not someone who actually looks at your receipt, you wouldn't know, because sometimes it's just like 50 naira, 100 naira, 200 naira, so you don't really notice it. But if you're someone who does bulk buying, it adds up like,
yo,
so it's so crazy.
it is. It
It
is.
adds up like mad. And honestly, the country is not helping. The country is not helping at
Yo,
all.
yo, it's quite, it's, yeah, like the bills are,
Yeah, sorry to cut you.
that's fine.
You know how we usually have like budgets for groceries. So if we were not couples, like if we're not a couple that talks like
Yeah,
often, it would have been really difficult for us to like figure the whole grocery thing out because we had a budget for groceries and we realized that every month it was just increasing. It was just increasing.
like,
So and
wait, wait, it wasn't even that it was increasing, is that we were going over budget
we're going over
constantly.
budget.
We had to come back and say, oh yeah, what is a realistic budget for
Yeah.
groceries based on the current realities? Because
Yeah.
what we had for budgets like every month, and the thing about it is when you go over your budget, you start feeling bad. You feel like
Yeah.
you've overspent. You
Especially
feel
when
like,
like you see the
and
price
it's
on the it's
less
less
things.
things so
Like,
like you see the price, your heart will just like pull like what every single time when they're scanning our like our groceries, I'm about to pay. The way I stand to look at that thing and I see the price, the moment I see the price, I'm like, what? I start telling my husband, oh yeah, what let's drop this thing. Let's drop that cashew nut. We don't really need cashew nuts, do we?
like,
It's just honestly so ridiculous. And sometimes it's not necessarily because you're going like over budget. It's not
yeah,
because
yeah,
you're overspending. Because you find out that these things you're buying actually like necessities.
yeah.
It's not like you're going to buy like things that you just want to have in the house, like nice to have. They're not nice to have.
We've
They are
stopped. When last did we? So before we used to have like snacks like within our grocery
yeah,
shopping,
like
like a
snack
lot
like
of. So we just, so that's the last thing we buy like in the grocery. Like after we've gotten the important stuff, we'll now do the last thing, which is just go and pick
yeah,
snacks that we want. We haven't done that in like how many months now? Like in a long time. Like we just have like one more snack that we pick. My
yeah,
wife is cashew nuts. After cashew nut, for me is if I see fox with biscuits, But aside that, you know, we can't, like, it's really, and how do we explain this?
see, the fact is that it is not that you're
It's not that
overspending.
you're
It
overspending,
is the
like
economy.
it's the
Like
economy.
you're not
Yo,
overspending. You're not. You're not
babe, because
going out
people
of
get these
budget. It
things,
is the
these
economy
same
is
things.
bad.
Yo,
The economy
I
is
remember
bad.
when we used to go, we don't even used to look at the receipt because we're not spending up to 100K before grocery should like pass 100,
See,
the
that
100K
time
mark.
we'll even
Like,
go to Shoprite with like to how our budget will be like we'll say 200K or so.
and this is plus um kilo of turkey, or
Like turkey, goat meat, like we'll buy things and we'll still be
from,
around
this is not even from
160K,
market, this is from
around
Shoprite,
160K,
the butchery there.
170K, and we'll realize that we still have change and we'll now go to our favorite ice cream shop.
And this was how many years ago? So
Now, if you carry 200K to the
now
market, they are
now
buying food for 1 week.
now what we even did self before that, our grocery shopping, that's 150, 200 was all the things, grocery plus food plus everything inside. We had to separate it to say, okay, this one is for food, like actual cooking food. This one is for like actual house supplies, like, morning fresh, all the other stuff, because we can't put two of them together
Yeah,
again,
you
because
can.
like it's crazy. Like,
It is.
so I think for this, like, I'll say like we should, like, as much as possible, try to communicate with your partner, because for us some non-negotiables like power, like we spent over how much on fuel this last month, unprovoked, because NEPA decided to be, you know, NEPA basically, yeah, and that bill just went up like times three of what we normally budget for, because we have to spend, because we need lights,
Yeah,
for sure. And those kind of things you have to be communicative about. It's like, oh, this, we've spent more than
yeah,
expected, for this budget. This was not what we planned, but this is what the current situation is. We have to adjust here, so and so.
yeah,
We have to do so and so. So that's like those things. Like, for the bills, like, there would always be bills. There will definitely be bills going over that will become overwhelming, whether it's rent increments, whether
yeah,
it's just normal things that are beyond your control. as long as you guys communicate, as long as you guys should try to adjust, some things are you need to adjust your budget entirely and say, okay, let's accommodate for this better.
Yeah.
Let's increase because we've increased our food budget. I think our food budget now is somewhat like balanced. I don't think we've gone over it in like 2 3 months now. So I think we did a good job there in trying to rebudget for that. So just try to rebudget, like reallocate funds and say like, oh, this is what the reality of this situation is now. And yeah, and move from there. But yeah, bills definitely don't try to shoulder don't try to shoulder the bills on your own and just be like, well, these bills, like let me just cover it. Nah, communicate that these bills are going higher than expected, and try to adjust together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's important. Okay, so are we going to the final reason
Let's go
why
to the
money
final one.
feels overwhelming in your relationship? And we're talking about money trauma. Let's say to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like fact is a lot
yeah.
of people have like money trauma that they don't know they have, because this is like from probably how you grew up, certain situations that happened, it's just something like that. People develop these traumas from there, and especially when it comes to money, they don't really know that this is a thing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm actually traumatized, and this is why I'm acting this way. For example, if you grew up in a house where like there's no money basically, and you see how like money is being handled like around you, these things register in your brain somewhere. And then when you grow up and you start making money, you kind of still have that it's called scarcity mindset,
Yeah.
where you feel like I don't want to go back to like that life. You remember that there was a time that happened, or unconsciously you just are scared that you are going to go broke and you're going to go without food. So you just kind of hold on to the money. That's
Yeah.
an example. Yeah. You just hold on to the money and you don't want to let it go. And because of that, money, you don't necessarily talk about money. You don't want to talk about how much you earn, how much you have, or whatever it is. You just keep that information to yourself. You don't spend, like, when, especially when you're married, because some people actually carry that into marriage, where they can't communicate to with their partner. They just want to work and ensure that the main things are met, like, oh, food, rent, and that's all. Because you're working hard to ensure that there never goes a time where like everybody's hungry in your house, because somehow unconsciously you're scared that that thing that happened when you were small is going to happen again. So something like that. What do you have to say?
Yeah, I think I'll say for like the other side of that equation is like it can rub off anyway. So for example, you have parents or you grew up with parents that you felt like it didn't give you much, like you felt like they were selfish, quote and unquote, yeah. You felt like you asked for stuff and so your response to that could be like, oh, when you have money, you just spend it anyhow, and that has created a habit where you're not able to keep money. Whatever is coming in is going every time because you feel like, well, let me just enjoy myself since I didn't
Yeah,
enjoy myself when I was growing up. Yeah. And the other side too, your parents, you saw your parents spend a lot of money, and when it came to important things, there was no money for it. Yeah. So what then happens is that you now start saving money too much, like she
yeah,
explained earlier, and you've created a habit of not knowing how to spend money. So you're just saving, keeping money, and you can only spend it on
yeah,
important stuff, and you don't know how to spend it any other way.
yeah,
And I'll say one of the other side of this is also, obviously the country we're in, like fraud is a getting scammed, being street smart is a thing, uh, and a lot of people have been, victims of getting scammed or just normal roadside person trying to get the better of you for no reason. I remember when I went to, I think, a jam market or something. Uh, I wasn't scammed, but I thought I was because I was tired. I can't remember what I did that day. So I just wanted to stop and buy whether it's fried yam or something at that bus stop or something. And I was ordering something and I needed to pay for one other thing. The person bought PS, um, entered the details, and I think my phone was even off or something. So I didn't even. I just remember that I did not look at how much the person put on the POS stuff. I just entered my PIN, collected it in. The person disappeared. Me too. I think I was just buying something. I can't remember what it was exactly. I remember on my way back when I was walking into the estate, now walking from the gate home, I was not thinking. I was like, what if this person scammed me? My brain was hot. I was vexing. I was boiling. I was like, let me go back there and try to find the person and say, why did you do this? It's not like I had seen the
You had
evidence
not
or
even
I
confirmed.
hadn't
Oh my
confirmed.
god.
So I just felt like I was scammed. I can't remember what the core reason was that I thought that was reality. Once
Yeah.
I found out that that was not the case, like was actually what was needed. But I just felt like the anger, the boiling. So imagine that and imagine if that was actually a thing. Like, how does that, affect me whenever I go spend money on PS? Yes, it does make you sharper for sure, but it also creates some doubt. Some people just go extreme and say they're never using POS machine again.
Yeah.
They're never,
Actually, to
this
add
kind
to
of stuff.
that, that whole period where there was like MMM stuff,
Yeah,
when that MMM thing
yeah.
crashed,
Oh,
a lot of people like
oh,
were victims of the MMM
yeah,
scheme.
yeah,
Yeah. So I know someone, a friend of mine, who till now never invests. This person used to like do investments then, but because of the amount he had put into the MMM thing, he vowed never to ever, like never ever
sure.
trust any of these, like whether I'd say, what about like piggy versus Jenny? I'm not putting my money anywhere anymore. So
Yeah,
because of that, like this person cannot invest. So you see how that affects this person, because this person like starts a family today, and that person still cannot plan for the future because there's no investments,
yeah,
because you cannot like just have money and keep it in your house or keep it in your bank account. If your money is not working for you, there's no way you're going to like build like wealth. I don't know if there is, but
yeah.
your money
You need
has
to
to work
yourself.
for you.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So because of that kind of trauma now, this person just cannot trust any other investment platform, and they feel like they cannot invest anymore. So this is what we're talking about when we say like money trauma, how deep this goes. And also I think for some other people, it's like, as ridiculous as it's going to sound, yeah, it's actually real. Village people. Some people are scared of village people.
Yeah.
So they are scared to talk about money. You hear, I've heard a story where a man like was warning his wife not to tell like her family like anything about like money. They should pretend that they don't have money. She shouldn't tell her family members like how they are doing or anything, because he believes that like they are village people, and village people are going to like make them run down on like their money. I mean,
Yeah.
we were Christians over here, so we don't believe, like we believe that if there's village
I
people,
think everyone
there's a God
knows.
greater than your village people.
Yeah, and I think everyone knows how much Elon Musk is worth or how much Dangote is worth.
So does that take
All
away
the
from
village
Elon
people in
Musk's money?
Nigeria, all the village people everywhere knows how much Dangote is worth. Yeah, I don't think anything has happened. So I feel like yeah, that there are certain obviously like you
Village
said.
people know where to go. You know that story where they say that witch is only disturbed poor people, that if a witch goes to a rich man's house, the AC will blow them and they'll sleep off.
That's actually funny. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so like like we're not removing the circumstance of like unfortunate events. There are people
yeah,
that have been through like unfortunate events that are genuinely like have gone through stuff, and
yeah,
that's what we say like, oh, this thing is serious. Like for people like that, it's try to heal, try to deal with that. There's some people that's like, oh, they put all their money in traveling abroad in Japan, it did not work out and they don't want to work anymore. You know, there are people like have done that in business, you know, try to
Yeah, start
oh
a
they
business,
start a
put
business,
all
put all the money,
their money
and
into the
you know
business,
all
and the
the that
business
you stole the
crashes.
money, stole the goods, everything, the business crashes, they say they're not doing business again. Yeah. So for people like that, you know, you already you have experienced failure, you have experienced trying to start a business, it not working out. You know, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't try again. You know, so for people like that, we say like try to understand the trauma that you know you've been through, try to deal with
Yeah,
it.
like think about it.
And
If you
yeah,
have a situation in
yeah,
the past that you've experienced with money, or you've seen someone close to you experience with money that actually like affected you, that made you sit back to like think about it, I think you should revisit those things. Like
yeah,
think about it properly, not
yeah.
revisit it just to
Feel
open
it,
like feel it and just
adjust, and
it
there's
is
the
to
feel
actually
down.
address it like for what it
Yeah,
is and heal from that trauma and like make steps in actually making like this thing
a thing of the
a thing
past.
of the past.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we are recommending.
Yeah, yeah. So just try steps. It's not easy. I think for
Yeah.
us, we just, you know, like we said in one of our previous videos, engage with financial content, you know, so subscribe to Terra
Yeah.
Hero, listening to all our
Mhm.
videos. You could go watch all our videos in the past,
Yeah.
you know, subscribe, listen to financial content that reshapes your mind
Yeah.
first, and then step by step, start with 10 naira every day savings, start with 1,000 naira,
Yeah.
you know, every day. You know, just start with what you can and start putting your leg in the water, you know, little by little. And by like after doing that several times, you get
Yeah.
more comfortable. Do proper research, see what is actually standard. Don't go for the flashy things. Anything that's telling you double your money in 2 days,
Yeah.
run away from it. Yeah. Go for the boring stuff, 10% interest in 1 year. Yeah. Put your money there, get 10% interest. You'll be like, wow, I made 10% interest. Be happy about that. So just do the little things to work
Yeah,
towards
because little
healing.
things add up. So yeah, subscribe to our channel because
That's
we
the
talk
most
about that's the
important.
most important. We're begging because some of you watch our videos and you don't subscribe. Yeah, we know you. We see you. We
You're
see
giving
you.
us
We see
channel
you.
trauma.
Oh my god. So help us heal from our trauma by subscribing
Exactly.
to our channel. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we'll see you in the next video,
Yeah.
right? We'll see you guys. Bye for now.